So, what does it take to be a successful practitioner? Well, I will say that this is what it takes to be a successful manager. Talk about talent development. What do you think's, by the way, what's my drop dead time? 9:16, 9:17, would that work? Okay. So when we think about talent development, what do you think we're talking about? Pardon me? Yeah, absolutely. So when we think about it, I'm not going to give you all of it, but when you think about talent development, the first thing is assessment of the talent. What do you think's going on here today and yesterday and tomorrow with you? You betcha. Absolutely. There's assessment going on. And there's going to be more assessment going on tomorrow if you're going through an interview, right? We talk about talent development. We talk about development of the individual. We talk about the ability to build teams and align teams to a common purpose. And then we talk about developing and managing relationships. Because that is the most important thing you're going to do, is developing and managing relationships. Because, and I'm sure you've seen it in your life, the person that only comes to you when they want something, right? So how often are you willing to, I mean, after a while it's like, come on, guy, enough. We talk about influencing relationships and networking. That's really what we call our leadership dimensions. So what do you think we think about when we're talking about influencing, building relationships and networking? How well you work with others? Pardon me? Leadership skills? Yes?
The ability to quickly connect with someone and maintain that connection is maintaining the relationship that time.
Yes, absolutely. What else? So when we think about it, we think about courageous leadership. Where do you think that fits into your leadership discussion you had yesterday? Well, think about when you're not agreeing with your boss, right? Conflict management, situational leadership. This is something I am. I'm a situational leader. If you don't do anything from what I've said to you, go get the book out of the library and read up on situational leadership. Executive presence, peer leader. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I think, Suni, can we get this information to them?
Yes. So the plan is everything that's being presented today. I didn't mention that earlier. Everything that's being presented today and tomorrow, we provide it to everybody that's in the room in a flash drive that we can utilize. Included in that flash drive would be the contact of everybody in the room, including students and practitioners, and all of that will be given to you for free.
Doesn't mean you can't take notes. All right, so you've heard this one. I got to move through because I'm getting a little bit short, but this is important because what you do now matters. So we had the seniors, but we have juniors and sophomores here. Course selection. The types of things I was talking about that we look for in an LP or an AP practitioner, they're going to be looking for in analysts and financial folks. They're going to be looking at understanding of business, statistics, accounting, your ability to communicate, your ability to manage. Have you had a campus leadership role? And it's not necessarily that it's a big campus leadership role. Like my son was treasurer for his fraternity, Delta Chi. So he can use, but he got some skills out of that. The work-life or the work-play balance for you. So are you able to do that? In other words, are you able to manage the academic requirements? Are you able to do, if you're employed, balance that along with the, I hope you're having fun in college because it's the best time of your life, that you're able to manage all three of those things. Well, that's the same skill set that you're going to need as you move into the business world. And I'm sure everybody's talked to you around social media and Facebook pages and all of that stuff, because I guarantee you people look at that. So, very quickly, because then we'll get into the money. I saved that to the last, right? So, from a public standpoint, compensation components, either it could be hourly or your wage paid. Typically, you can get a cost of living adjustment. You'll get a locality pay. So, let's say you live in Boise, Idaho, and they're moving you to New York City. They would pay you a cost of living adjustment or locality pay for the time period you're there so you could afford to live there. They would pay you a hazard pay if you're in a hazardous position. You know, you're carrying a gun, you're going after organizations, that kind of stuff. They tend to have a comprehensive retirement program, 20 years typically, 50% of your pay, medical, etc. They have health insurance, and they have structured career progression. And I put less volatile because it is less your ability to move as it is to time and grade position, which is different from the private sector. So from the private sector, typically, again, it could be hourly, but it's typically a wage. Retailers offer bonuses. They can go up from 5% up to 100%. Typical is somewhere between 5, 10 to 25%. But then if the company does really well or your location does really well, you can go up to a 200% bonus. And that's based on your pay, your annual pay. Companies give out stock options. Stock options are those that you get at a certain price, and if they raise up, and hopefully you're able to influence, you know, the value of that. Or they get grants to you that are actually, that's what you get, and they mature in a certain period of time. Company cars are fairly typical, 401k. They have employee stock purchase plans, health insurance. And we said unrestricted career progression, and it's more volatile. So unrestricted is, it tends not to be time and grade. It's really based on competency, and it's based on performance, which is different than the public sector. And there is a definite higher income potential. So this is just a quick shot of money. This is around state and local law enforcement, talking about, you know, what a police officer would make coming in. By the way, this is not downtown, this is not New York, this is not Chicago, this is not LA. This is a median look at that compensation. So as a police officer, it could range from $30,000 to $64,000, average is somewhere around $51,000. Police and detectives, the supervisors, you can see the range, and detectives obviously go up more. The second slide I'm going to show you is around the federal level, and typically they're called GS grades, GS 10s, GS 11s, and FBI, which is typical with CIA, DEA, stuff like that, starts at a grade 10. So you would start at step 1 at $57,000 once you got out of the academy, right? And then each step is kind of a 10-year step. And then if you can move up in the grades, by the way, don't think you're moving up to grade 15 or 14. I mean, you know, that's like 2 or 3% of the people that get into it. You can see that you have a nice, consistent income pattern growth, right? It's not fantastic, but it's sure. You want to see the next slide? Nah, I'm out of time. It's no. Okay. So this is LP. Now remember, this is medians. So single unit LP manager could make 35,000, and they could make up to 90,000. You put it down near the flagship manager. We have stores in downtown New York, downtown Chicago, in Puerto Rico, and stuff. And these are high volume, tens of millions of dollars stores that have high velocity. So the opportunity to get compensated for that, but that comes with experience. You can see district LP managers, they manage stores, so they'll have store LP managers reporting to them. You know, they can range from 45,000 up to usually, 65, 70, average is around 75,000. Regional manager, which can range, regional managers and regional directors, it depends on the organization you're in. In our organization, regional managers is a development position. So they work for a regional director, and we're getting them ready to take on a regional director role, which is just what we did with Courtney. And so regional directors can make up to 180,000. Average median is 125,000. Then you can see the analysts, corporate LP managers, divisional LP managers, and then of course the directors. That would be me. And that takes you a long time to get there. But it's not bad once you get there.